Hello everyone, this is Maryann here from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology and Spirituality. I want to start by looking at the astrology for today. Whether you are in the northern hemisphere, you'll be finishing up on the 3rd of December. If you're in the southern hemisphere, you're on the 4th of December. So the moon is in Leo, depending on where you are, and moving through to Virgo. So the moon in Leo, expression of feelings. Now moving into Virgo, we're looking at really looking at the detail. So when we're full on emotion, we express that, and then something untoward happens. This time of the year, you can get a lot of family issues flaring. Unfortunately, I know that from my viewers, and it is common as we approach Christmas, in the lead up to Christmas and on Christmas. It can be a difficult time of year for many, while it can be a joyous time for others. And I sincerely hope that everybody has a trouble-free, peaceful and happy Christmas, full of love and giving and receiving as well. So Virgo, looking at the detail of things. The Sun is conjunct Mars, so it was on the 3rd and it is on the 4th still. So the Sun is the ultimate fiery giver of life, and Mars, of course, rules Aries, that fire energy, and moving forward. Mars is often associated with war at times, or at best, assertion and getting things done. So the blending of energies there, just be careful. You don't let your temper get the better of you. I think really as we move into the 4th of December, it is a time to really step back from any kind of issues that you might be having, resentments, and think about the love, because there's really nice energy for really seeing those that matter to you in your life. The moon, our feelings, is sextiling Venus, love. So there's harmonious flows there. And the Venus is also trining Saturn. So put your effort into those loving relationships that give you back love. And ignore the rest. Ignore the rest. There's no point in overgiving to people who aren't reciprocating. So give to those that love you, and those that are grateful for you. Express that love and receive that love. Venus is also squaring Pluto, so Venus love, and the square can often force, its conflict can also force those really repressed conflicts to the surface. So there's the mantra for today, or the next few days. Express the love to those that give you love, and just watch the temper around any estrangements or emotional issues you might have with those friends and family, or even acquaintances as well, because things could get fiery very quickly. All right, on to today's readings. We're going to look, is Trump under investigation, for wire fraud or pardon? So I went back and looked at my readings. I've done so many. So if you're new to the channel, please just type in the search bar, Trump pardons, Santos, because he was expelled as predicted. It was an interesting thing with Santos. As soon as he was elected, I said he's going to face criminal investigations, although it's going to take some time. And I picked up that first vote where the Democrats actually, the longer Santos was in Congress, it became more and more embarrassing for Republicans that he summed up really what was wrong with the party. So when I read on Santos' expulsion, I said it's odd because the Democrats get what they want, but ultimately he is expelled, and I think that did mirror the course of events with Santos. Anyway, I for one am glad he's gone. I hope to goodness that he is just relegated to anonymity, but I somehow think he will milk this for all he can get. while I was looking back on those readings, I came across the pardons, was the DOJ investigating Trump for pardons. Now that was 6 months ago that I thought that they may have been. We've now seen in the news that, yes, some of those pardons are under investigation. Now, if you recall, Giuliani and Trump, the news broke that they were actually allegedly charging for pardons. So that's where I want to go. And I also want to go to the wire fraud. The reason I want to do that is because in Trump's civil suit in New York that the New York AG is has brought, and he's already been found guilty in the civil court of fraud in his business dealings. The bench trial was just to work out just how much the damages were going to be. I think the New York AG is looking for $250 million. There's an administrator has been appointed to oversee his business, and the question is, does he lose his business licenses? I actually feel he will, and I've read on that in the past also. So during the evidence from his one of his financial people, he said, "Oh, look, he broke down on the as he was being cross-examined, and he actually said, look, they said, are you okay, sort of thing. He said, well, I'm actually used to this because I've been in a similar situation with the SDNY. So Southern District of New York, that's under the Department of Justice federally. So why did he say that? What was he referring to? So was this an older case when Bill Barr declined to bring charges for the campaign violations with the Stormy Daniels affair? Was this Trump financial person referring to that, or has he been on before a grand jury for another matter? I want to see if that's to do with wire fraud. Now, what is wire fraud? Trump taking campaign donations, saying they're going to be used for one thing, and instead they're used for everything else but what he said. In the case of January the 6th, it was to litigate supposedly for that terrible lie that he said the election was stolen. And he didn't use that money for that. He used it for other things, including his own ongoing campaign. So we're going to actually have a look at whether he's been investigated. There's all sorts of matters that he could have been investigated for, including his inauguration. Remember that. So we'll have a look at what's going on there. I know many of you are panicking because you hear a psychic, they say Trump's going to win in 2024. Look back on the psychic's track record. Did that psychic actually predict he would win in 2020? Where does he mostly appear? In Murdoch papers? Like, these are the things you've actually got to look at. How independent is this person? Whoever that psychic might be, or tarot reader might be. Will Trump be president in 2024? Well, I've read on this copiously, but if we've got time, I'll throw cards on that again. Scott Perry, the member from Congress, I did say some members of Congress will be under investigation for their role in January the 6th. His emails have now come out coaching the weasel, that weasel-like fellow, the character out of movies, that kind of, I think, what was his name in Harry Potter? He was the rat. Anyway, you know who I mean. Is Scott Perry under investigation by the DOJ for the January 6 matters? I think that Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, is honing in on Trump. We'll get that trial out of the way, and then we'll see charges come in after that, including for the co-conspirators. And maybe for members of Congress. Let's see. I really want to look at Biden and Harris administration have been doing some pretty grueling work trying to push for humanitarian aid and pauses to the Gaza war, the war between Israel and Hamas. And I want to look if they're looking at what comes next when there isn't a ceasefire. They're pushing to on that international humanitarian law on proportionality, which is very important, that any action in war has to be proportionate, which means it has to be confined to taking out the enemy, not wholesale taking out of civilians, and vice versa. Hamas too has committed horrendous atrocities against civilians, innocent civilians in Israel. Works both ways. Okay, Biden and Harris, they're wanting the Palestinian Authority to run Gaza after, or run the Palestinian territories after this war, and they're pushing for finally a two-state system, and we'll see if how far they're going to get on that. I haven't even got my cards ready, so let's do a quick pick here. Also, some people say, oh, the shuffling of the cards are too loud. Honestly, get over it. I'm sorry, you're on a tarot card readers channel. We're going to be shuffling the cards. I've pushed the microphone back a bit, but ultimately I'll probably get complaints around noise levels, so you can't win. But I do say to anyone who is, just turn your volume down while I'm shuffling, turn your closed captions on. They're generally available 24 hours after my reading, but you will hear shuffling of cards in this reading. Okay, so, and also for those complaining about the light coming in here, that's how it is. You're not being blinded by light because no light can come through a computer screen. It is artificial light that you are seeing, and it does not blind you. All right. Patience is really a virtue, is it not? Okay. So we're going to be using the Golden Art Nouveau Tarot, and where we need to clarify, we will. So I usually have all my decks prepared, but not today for whatever reason. Where are we going to start? Trump under investigation for wire fraud. We'll go for the pardons, because that's actually, although I read on it 6 months ago, it's actually in the news right now. Particularly one particular drug dealer. Okay, so yeah, I know. Oh my goodness. All right, so is Trump under investigation for the pardons that he and Giuliani arranged? This one came through Kushner, says it all, Jared Kushner. Is Trump under investigation for the pardons that he gave out? Is Trump and whoever else was involved under investigation for the pardons that he gave out? Is Trump under investigation for the pardons that he gave out? Whoa, okay. So we get the Knight of Pentacles popping out here. This is like consistency, reliability. It's also holding an Ace of Pentacles. Then we get the Cup here, a deal, interesting. And then we get the Queen of Wands. So I know that the second in charge at the DOJ is a woman. She looks pretty hell-bent on something. So money, an offer or a deal, and perhaps a woman investigator. So we get the Three of Hearts, loss, our ship coming in, and money issues. Interesting. All right, let's put those back, and we'll draw a small Celtic cross on this, because I do want to get to the wire fraud. All right, it's Trump. Please show me clearly, is Trump under investigation? Two people clinging a champagne glass. Okay, the deal is done. There was wheeling and dealing is what I'm feeling with those pardons, and that we know. Or that is alleged anyway. All right, is Trump under investigation for the pardons that he gave out? Any of the pardons that he gave out? The Sun card, full illumination. Bright. What's the Sun conjunct with Mars at the moment? We might... I mean, what else could drop? But we might get something dropping on this, and we get the Three of Pentacles. So I feel there's a dedicated team within the DOJ looking at this. That's what I feel. And they could be reporting to Lisa Monaco. I think he is. They're both pretty strong yeses. And there we get the prosecutor, the Queen of Swords. This could even have already been some of this evidence might have even been before a grand jury. We'll get the news. Now, we get lies and deceit in the past. I mean, it's telling a pretty compelling narrative, viewers. Oh, God, the Ace of Swords. Is there any doubt? Now, I told you that this Ace of Swords, the truth and the sun, the truth doesn't stay buried for long. As true as the sun comes out, so will the truth, or words thereof. So we get the outcome card, yes. In the investigation, there's so far 3 nights. The investigation is picking up a steam right now, and we get the 9, clarified by the 9 of Pentacles. So, bar this card in the past, all of these are yes cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't need to go any further. We get secrets coming to the surface, secrets being kept, and we get the Magician, manifestation, and the work, the 8 of Pentacles, and we get decisions and bombshells and justice. This is going to break soon, and there she is again, the Queen. This is going to break soon, I feel. This story is going to break soon, but yes, he's under investigation for these pardons. The truth won't stay buried about anything that Trump did in during his term. What about for wire fraud? All those small donors that really believed, more fool them, really believed the investigation was stolen, even despite Trump's own administration, Bill Barr, the head of cybersecurity, yada, 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 election integrity, in charge of election integrity, all of these people saying it wasn't stolen. Court case after court case after court case, I think 60 in all, saying it wasn't stolen. Yet these people gave their $5 to Trump, and he amassed a lot in campaign donations. Back in the inauguration, the Trump offspring were there, particularly Ivanka, taking these donations, and they were all going into the Trump org, right for investigation. Whatever this is Trump under investigation for money fraud, please? Show me clearly. Trump under investigation for money fraud. I'm seeing the Ace of Cups here. So we got 5 of Pentacles. That's being left out. Money issues here, loss of money. And we get the truth around his money situation, the truth around his... Okay, so there's something around Trump's money. He's not doing well, even though it would appear that he is, or he's flamboyant anyway. He's having serious money issues at the moment, and the truth will come out. Okay, so we get the 3 of Swords. That's betrayal, can be betrayal, loss, grief. And then we get justice in the past. So something has already moved on this, I think. What is going on here? The 9 of Cups in the sky, wish fulfillment, the smug merchant, whatever you want. The potential, it's a potential yes, but we haven't come to the end. We've got guardrails. I think these cards are picking up just how it's picking up Trump and his financial situation right now. Justice here. It's all these series of court cases. He's feeling battered around. We get temperance and moderation here in the here and now. And there she is, the Queen of Wands yet again. There has to be guardrails. There has to be barriers against this sort of thing. I mean, hopes and fears, disappointment, 1 cup remaining. That's the cup, the offer that I'm seeing. What do they want from him? DOJ's really backed him into a corner, as well he should do. I mean, can he cut deals on these things? Anyway, the Hermit card, reflection, review, isolation, challenged by worry. This is just full on how Trump is at the moment. We get the Star card, having hope, headlines, news coming through, and the Ace of Wands, something coming to fruition in time. I feel with the Empress card, abundance, Fool, and here's the Knight of Cups again. I think on this one, on this wire fraud stuff, I don't know. Is he trying to do a deal with the DOJ? That's what it seems like to me. And we get the Lovers, which is his card. Yeah, I think they are investigating him, and I think his lawyers are talking to them about cutting some kind of deal here. Interesting. He's in a pretty unwinnable state, but yet still people ask. They listen to a psychic who was wrong in 2020, said Trump would win, or any other psychics that, I mean, it's a terrible thing, isn't it? But it happens. It happens. But all right, people get told what they want to hear. All right, so will Trump be president in 2024? Let's go on that one. Will Trump be president in 2024? I heard no. I keep hearing no. I see a battering ram battering. It's like what is like a crowbar, a steel implement, and it's just shattering the rock, shattering it, digging away, shattering the truth. I've already said I actually think that he's going to be ruled ineligible. I certainly saw the Colorado Supreme Court perhaps upholding the ineligibility under their law. Then it goes to the Supreme Court, and I think we'll be surprised that the Supreme Court might rule that he is ineligible, or they may not take it, for example, which would be akin to saying states must decide for themselves. Okay, and if certain states, then he won't ever get to the electoral college number, would he? Okay, so will Trump be president in 2024? For those that are worried and fearful, which is what happens when we listen to too much social media. Will Trump be? Somebody's on a white horse. What colour horse does the death card is in the death card? All right, will Trump be president in 2024? No. This card came up before. It's like ruination, isn't it? And then we get the Sword of Truth coming forward again, and I did shuffle copiously. We get the past coming back to haunting him, so I was correct. That previous spread was picking up his current situation. In the past, we get walking a tightrope. His decisions are what will prevent him, the decisions he made. And we get the Page of Wands in the potential here. The Page of Wands is not... It's not, every time that page comes forward in terms of politics, it's not a good card. It's like, it's not enough for a win. We get something coming to fruition in time, in the immediate future. Here and now, in the present, we get victory. What is this victory? The burden. So the Ten of Wands speaks to carrying too much burden. So what's clarifying the victory card is that he's just carrying too much baggage. That's in the present even. That's in the present. So if the election was held today, he would still be found to be carrying too much baggage, too much of a burden. Four of Swords in the hopes and fears. This can be ill health. It can be retreat. It can be you're beaten. And then we get the Hermit card, isolation, reflection, review, and moderation. So, what people are thinking, and then clarified by the Five of Cups. I want to just show you. People are looking for a new start. I don't even think he's going to get that far. He's isolated. His support is dwindling. People are looking for temperance and moderation, and we get the Five of Cups. Absolutely lost. It's almost like a death. And then we get the Queen of Pentacles. Something can be national security. And then we get the Seven of Swords, the big lies. and we've got more and more and more information coming out. People are looking for a new start, and look, where everything is paused where Trump is concerned, because the truth is emerging, really around how he enriched himself. I think there's more to come on money fraud and these pardons. I see this pardon story breaking, and that was over 6 months ago that I read on that. It takes time in the divination world for things to come to fruition. Sometimes I can get fairly good timelines. If I do a month-by-month type of spread, I can pin down timelines then. But when I'm doing general readings, this can happen anytime from immediately through to up to 2 years afterwards. Okay, so because the truth it has a way of playing out, doesn't it? All right, Scott Perry. We'll do him. Scott Perry. Okay, just a quick one on him, because he's not worth really much of our times, is he? We have to become more discerning, really. Okay, so next Thursday I'll probably look at Trump's natal chart and progressions for the election day, or I might look at some other type of astrology. All right, so let's have a look. Scott Perry coached Jeffrey Clark. Jeffrey Clark said, "Am I worthy, Master?" And Perry answered, "God has chosen you." Like, crikeys, as we say in Australia, crikeys. Okay, crikeys. All right, let's have a look. Scott Perry. Scott Perry. Is he being investigated? Oh, my goodness. Is Scott Perry being investigated? Is Scott Perry being, or will Scott Perry be investigated for his role in January the 6th insurrection? Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles is the signifier card, and we get abuse of power. Abuse of power. What star sign is Perry? We get earth energy here, and then abuse of power. All right, interesting. 7 of Pentacles. If plan A doesn't work, we'll go to plan B. In the past, he was certainly in on it, in on the planning, because that's in the past, and we get the devil in the sky. Oh my goodness, very toxic, isn't it? And the immediate future, we get the King of Cups, which is the DOJ. Clarifying that is the Chariot. Yes, I just feel that so much more is going to drop in the coming months. Yes, he is under investigation, and others are too. If you want to look at my readings on that, just do a search. What was the heading? Congressional members under investigation, something like that. Okay, I think I looked at Marjorie Green, and who else? Might have even been Perry. Okay, so yes, he is. Before I want to go, I want to look at, can Biden and Harris establish, it's hard work they've been putting in. They've basically warned. Now it's come down to, they've urged and now they're warning Netanyahu, who has dubious ties there to Putin, I might add. So they're warning Netanyahu to keep civilian casualties. They don't want to see the same thing occurring. They're working hard. They're starting to look at who will who will run Gaza after this, and they're looking at the PLO, but they want a revamped PLO. They're trying to bring in the Arab states to take some responsibility here as well, and at the same time trying to rein Netanyahu in. It's a very, very difficult task, as well as protecting everybody against terrorism from what Hamas did. So we get the Moon card. I guess this just underscores how volatile, emotional, and I don't even have words for it, the Middle East is. Okay, so can can they work toward, can the Biden-Harris administration at least broker peace after this war and work toward a two-state solution? Can they do this? And we have here, well, that card just about sums it up as well. On all sides. This is after the battle. That's a retreat. I think they can broker some kind of, what's the word? It'll be more than a pause. It'll be a ceasefire eventually. And if you want to know my timeline, do that search. I did a Middle East timeline. I think I titled it. I thought that by New Year we're looking at ceasefire. But go back and have a look at that. I think a lot of money is going to humanitarian aid in December as well. So we get the Lovers card, retreat, and the Lovers card here. That's a Gemini. So this can be, it can be two sides of the coin. I mean, it again probably is signifying the situation in the Middle East. The Nine of Pentacles, that's interesting. The Nine of Pentacles is money pouring in. So I did see a lot of money going into Gaza. The Arab states will need to rebuild. The world will need to help rebuild. I don't know what Israel's role is in helping there. I can't see that they would want to do that. The Page of Swords is in the past. I mean, this is just the war. And then we get the civilian crisis. The UN keeps telling us it's a crisis of humanity there, and it certainly shows it. Okay, so we get loss, walking away from what no longer serves us. It's just pretty bleak energies here, and here comes our Moon card again in the here and now. Very volatile. It's like raging emotions, and the US is trying to get the job done and bring the Hamas terrorists to justice, and then also hold those accountable on the Israeli side as well. It's such an abuse of power. Goodness gracious, there is just such an abuse of power. Hopes and fears, the Tower card. A very volatile still in the Middle East. Yes, and I said that before in my early readings. The US will be able to eventually help broker a ceasefire. And we've just got logic here. I mean, these are really good cards for ceasefire. They will probably go through a lot of planning. Plan A doesn't work, they go to Plan B before they get to it. But Biden's very determined. Very, very. Biden and Harris. I'm just going to keep saying Biden and Harris are very, very, very determined to get this ceasefire and to get in some sort of transitional government of the Palestinian territories, and to really hold Netanyahu in check. So we get the High Priestess, many, many secrets, but we've got new starts and the terrible grief and loss on both sides. Pausing, ceasefire, and new starts. Yes, you can. They can. Along with their Arab partners, Qatar in particular, Egypt, Jordan. Let's not forget any of those partners that are now looking at post-war and what happens next. And the more that Biden can bring his Arab partners together, the more favourable the outcomes. But right now, with that Tower card and the hopes and fears, it is still very volatile. That's it, folks. I'll be back on Thursday with some astrology, perhaps Trump's natal chart. That's probably what I'll do. But it will be some astrology in any case. All right then. Thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.